Man, African leaders are something else, eh? African leaders are something else. These people, man, are the reason why Africa will never prosper, man. This continent will never prosper. I'm telling you. As long as these liberation movements are still running the place, man, this continent will never prosper. Recently, I was having a conversation with my friend. We were talking about Zimbabwe, the situation in Zimbabwe, and how bad things are in Zimbabwe. The fact that today, millions and millions of Zimbabwe, they are jumping the borders because they are sick and tired of the same ZANU-PF they voted for. The same ZANU-PF they voted for, it is oppressing them, it is denying them of having free and fair election. The same ZANU-PF they voted for is basically denying the country to move forward. One of the questions that I had from my friend, I said, man, do you think if ZANU-PF was transparent enough with the people of Zimbabwe before they enforced land expropriation without compensation, do you think the average Zimbabweans would have supported ZANU-PF still? Do you think if the ZANU-PF cadres were transparent enough to tell the people of Zimbabwe that, guys, once we enforce this policy of land expropriation without compensation, once we chase out the farmers, these are going to be the consequences. The country is going to be destroyed. The country is going to be destroyed. These people, they are going to place sanctions on us. We are going to cry globally that these sanctions are unfair, but these sanctions are going to be placed on us. Do you think the average Zimbabweans would have still supported ZANU-PF? Do you think the average Zimbabweans that are living in South Africa and other African countries, do you think if these people understood the consequences of land expropriation without compensation in their country, do you think they would have supported ZANU-PF still? I don't think the average Zimbabweans would have supported ZANU-PF. I don't think average Zimbabweans wanted to leave their own country. But now they have to leave their own country because the politicians lied to them. They told them that, guys, once we expropriate land without compensation, everyone is going to be rich. Our mineral resources are going to work for us. Our rich and fertile land is going to work for us. Today, what is happening in Zimbabwe? The mineral resources of the country, ZANU-PF cadres are stealing the mineral resources of the country. They are selling them for their own benefit. The rich land in Zimbabwe is benefiting the cadres. It is not benefiting the poor average Zimbabweans. They always act first and explain later. Always act first and explain later. Today, many people that are defending Zimbabwe and this stance they took, they will tell you that, man, Zimbabwe, it is the way it is today because of the sanctions that was placed on the country. I mean, like, guys, the ZANU-PF cadres, they knew of these sanctions. They knew these sanctions would come. It doesn't matter. You saying that these sanctions are unfair, these sanctions are wrong, it doesn't matter. The matter of the fact is that the sanctions are there. Do you think if the people of Zimbabwe understood the extent of the sanctions, they would have still supported ZANU-PF? No. No. I'm saying this because recently President Ramaphosa told the ANC Lekgotla that, guys, we took Israel to court, but there are consequences for that. There are consequences for that. Right now, President Ramaphosa is telling the people of the country that, guys, us taking Israel to court, it has its consequences. And one of the consequences is that there might be an incitement of regime change in South Africa. You know, when I heard President Ramaphosa said that, man, I said the first thing that came to my mind is that political parties, especially the opposition parties, they need to be furious with President Ramaphosa. Let's say President Ramaphosa, what he's saying is true. Let's say, for the argument's sake, let's say what President Ramaphosa is saying is true. So if you know that taking Israel to court is going to result in our elections being tampered with, why did you take Israel to court? Why didn't you wait until the elections before you take Israel to court? Why would you take Israel to court few months before we go into the elections and come out to tell us that taking Israel to court, it has its consequences? And one of the consequences is that these people, they might tamper with our own elections. They might incite a regime change in South Africa. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why didn't you tell the people of this country before you took Israel to court? Because I don't believe that you guys took Israel to court without managing all the risk. I don't think you took Israel to court without actually considering what will be the consequences of taking Israel to court. So if you guys knew that taking Israel to court, it might result in them tampering with our elections, why would you take Israel to court a few months before South African elections? Why are political parties not pissed off at President Ramaphosa? Because if Ramaphosa is telling the truth, chances are he's lying. If Ramaphosa is telling the truth, then if the elections are tampered with, every single politician needs to be pissed at Ramaphosa, at every single political party needs to be pissed at Ramaphosa, because these people, man, have already spent millions campaigning for the people of this country to vote for them in the 2024 election. Then the president of the country puts a country in a situation where it might find their elections being tampered with. Why are political parties actually not breathing fire at Ramaphosa right now? Because if you understood that these are going to be the consequences, why did you take Israel to court at first place? Why? Because at the same time, when you say that they might incite regime change in South Africa, it tells me that the ANC, again, it is also gearing to deny the election results. It's telling us that the ANC is also gearing to deny the election results if they lose. Because what is happening right now, President Ramaphosa is already laying the foundation of the ANC denying the election results if they lose. Because him standing there and saying Israel might actually incite regime change in the country. If ANC loses the election, the ANC is going to come out swinging and saying, guys, we didn't lose the elections. You know, we took Israel to court, and taking Israel to court, these people have actually tampered with our elections. So we are still in charge of the country, basically. We are still in charge of the country, basically. Guys, there's going to be chaos after these elections, man. There's going to be chaos after these elections. So what I really don't understand about these leaders is that, why do you guys promote policies without telling the people the consequences of those policies? Why do you promote policies without telling the people of the country the consequences of those policies? Because everyone knew that there's a price that South Africa is going to pay for taking Israel to court. Everybody knew. But Ramaphosa says that, man, we know we have to take the moral high ground. We can take the punishment. He's now telling the people of the country that, guys, brace yourself. Israel might come out swinging. He's telling the people of the country that, guys, brace yourself. Israel might come out swinging because of what the African National Congress has done. Are we going to see another situation in Zimbabwe where a political party in charge makes a decision and the people, man, suffer the consequences of that? Are we going to witness that in South Africa? Because this is exactly what happened in Zimbabwe. This is exactly what happened in Zimbabwe.
Diplomatic ties between South Africa and Israel are very frosty after the International Court of Justice provisional judgment. Last Friday, the ICJ ordered Israel to take measures to prevent and to punish direct incitement of genocide in the Gaza Strip. The ANC is on high alert for possible attempts of regime change in South Africa by Israel. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa says he expects a full-blown fight back from the Israel.
And how is it possible for Ramaphosa, man, to know of this incitement of regime change so fast? So fast, Ramaphosa took Israel to court. A few weeks after taking Israel to court, you come out and say that, man, Israel is trying to incite a regime change in the country. So him saying that Israel is trying to incite a regime change in the country, man, what are the steps that ANC is going to take? Is the ANC going to postpone the elections and say, guys, we cannot go into the elections, because if we go into the elections, chances are Israel is going to tamper with these elections. We are not going to get right results for these elections. Is ANC going to push for the elections to be postponed because of this? Because to me, it sounds like it. It sounds like it.
Israelis.
The fight back may also focus on our domestic politics and our electoral outcomes in order to pursue a regime change agenda.
I mean, the African National Congress has already lost a lot of support, man. The African National Congress has already lost a lot of support, man. Can you imagine what is going to happen if the ANC loses the elections and they come out and say that, man, it is not because the people of the country don't favor us. It is because Israel basically tampered with our elections. This is why I'm saying, why are political parties not actually breathing fire after Ramaphosa said this? Why are political parties saying, man, Ramaphosa, why did you put us in that position? Why did you put us in that position? You knew very well that these are going to be the consequences. We are going into the elections, man. We are about to beat you in these elections. And just as we are about to beat you in these elections, you go and tamper with Israel, and then you come back and tell the people of this country that, guys, the election results that we might get might be wrong because these people might tamper with our own election. What are these people playing at, man? What are these people playing at? Because if you were the president of the country, why would you put the elections that are coming at risk? Why would you put them at risk? Why would you put them at risk?
Now, some people have said this was a David and Goliath type of contest. So we must be aware that whilst we have done what we believe was driven by our conscience and our principles.
What principles, man? Ramaphosa is talking about the conscience and principles, man. What principles? What principles, man? You think standing for the people of Israel means standing for the people of Palestine means that you have principles? You are failing your own people in the country, man. Your own people are being slaughtered on the streets. Thousands and thousands of South Africans that are being slaughtered on the streets. And you are standing there saying that fighting for Palestine, it actually means that you guys have principles. What principles? How can you stand there and talk about principles when your own people are being slaughtered in their own country? The crime is totally out of control in South Africa. Unemployment rate is totally out of control in South Africa. Right now, South Africa is losing the investment because the country cannot even manage load shedding. The country cannot even manage load shedding. So what is it exactly are you fighting for? What is it exactly are you fighting for? Because you are supposed to fight for the people of this country. All of these things that you are saying that they were supposed to be directed at the people of this country. Now you are asking the people of this country to vote for you to fight for the people of Palestine. You don't care about what is happening in the country. You don't care about what is happening in the country. And we don't know why you stand there and pretend like you have the moral high ground to stand against Israel when you cannot even manage your own country. I think people, man, they must not take it light when the president says there might be an incitement of regime change. To me, it sounds like the ANC is laying the groundwork to deny the election results if they lose the elections. To me, that's what it sounds like it. I know that sometimes I'm a conspiracy theorist, but to me, this is exactly what it sounds like. It sounds like these people, man, they are trying to put an excuse for them if they lose the elections. Because right now, I think President Ramaphosa understands how people feel at him. I think President Ramaphosa at this point understands how South Africans are actually feeling towards him. So he knows that, man, there's actually a chance of me losing these elections. So I'm going to put an excuse there. We're going to put it there. We're going to wrap it nicely and put it there at the corner. If we lose the elections, man, we are going to pull out this excuse and tell the people of this country that, guys, we didn't lose the elections. Israel tampered with our elections. So what are South Africans actually expected to do at that time? What are political parties actually going to do? I'm waiting to see the action that political parties are going to do, because Ramaphosa has came out and admitted in front of everyone else that our action of actually taking Israel to court, it might result in our elections being tampered with. This is something I think political parties need to be furious at. They need to be furious at, man. People spend millions campaigning. You are now telling them that the election result they're about to get might be wrong. These people, man, they need to be furious at the president.
And whilst we also went and did the right thing and take this matter to the courts that were set up by those who were there in 1948 or so as they set up that court, we are being blamed for taking the matter to the very court that they set up. We didn't take this case to a kangaroo court.
Ramaphosa.
Isn't it funny that Ramaphosa is taking Israel to court because he believes that Israel is doing something wrong? But the same Ramaphosa is failing to take the ANC cadres to court for actually destroying South Africa. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny that the president, man, is so strong? The president is so strong, saying that, man, we are going to see this case through. And none of us has actually witnessed the president being so strong, the president pursuing something like the way he's pursuing this matter of Israel versus Palestine. When it comes to the issues that are facing South Africa, no one has actually saw the president is standing against the corruption. Right now, president is pretending like, yeah, we have the moral high ground, we can speak about these issues, but you have your own issues that are facing your own country. You have your own issues that are facing your own country, man. I mean, for the longest time, people, man, one of the biggest criticism that Ramaphosa is facing is that, man, you are failing to deal with corruption. You are failing to deal with the cadres that are destroying South Africa, man. This is one of the biggest criticism that Ramaphosa is getting, that, man, you are failing to deal with all of these cadres. The people, man, were named and shamed in the Zondo Commission. You didn't do anything about all of those. You didn't do anything. But right now, you are saying that you are taking Israel to court. You are going to make sure that this matter, man, you see it through. When are you actually going to see through the matters that are concerning the people of the country? When are you actually going to stand up against the politicians that have been destroying the country? Because right now, if you're going to stand there and pretend like you have the moral high ground, we are expecting you to do the same thing in the country. For the past 5 years, man, the past 5 years, we've been talking about fixing the NPA. The past 5 years, you've been talking about cleaning, you've been talking about renewal, but there is no evidence of that. There is no evidence of that. Right now, you are going to allow the ANC cadres to destroy South Africa while you are fighting the fight. You are punching above your weight globally, but you are going to allow the politicians in South Africa to destroy the country. I wish these people, man, had the same passion. I wish these people, man, had the same passion for the matters that are facing the country. I know right now, man, we are starting to sound like broken records, but the truth is truth. Truth is truth, man. We wish these people had the same passion when it comes to the matters that are facing the country. If you were the president of the country, man, knowing the problems that are facing the country, why would you even take time? Why would you even dedicate some of your time and energy and effort into the matters that has nothing to do with the people of this country? Why would you do that? Right now, you are telling them that, guys, there might be consequences, there might be political consequences, there might be economic consequences. And you know, when they say economic consequences, it means that people are going to lose jobs. Some companies are going to pull off their investments. America is going to pull a couple of investments. Israel is going to pull a couple of investments. So that is going to result in people losing their jobs. It is not going to taint the politicians in any way, shape, or form. It is not going to taint the politicians in any way, shape, or form. This is why I ask people that, guys, are we simply going to allow the ANC to do the same thing that ZANU-PF did in Zimbabwe? Are we going to allow the ANC to go and poke the bears and the people of this country suffering the consequences while they are okay there at the executive? This is what is happening in Zimbabwe.
However, says he and the ANC are also ready to fight on the international front and complete the case in order to free the people of Palestine. Domestically, Ramaphosa has fired up the ANC's elections campaign, calling on the alliance to go all out to all South Africans in the townships, rural and urban areas.
And we will collectively launch a formidable campaign that will engage with the citizens of our country on a wall-to-wall basis, from the east to the west, from the north to the south. Every village, every township will be covered.
So do you like guys, do you understand how sick and how sick and devious this is? The president of the country, man, is asking the people of this country to vote for him, only for him to fight for the people of Palestine, not for the people of South Africa. So he wants the people of this country, the South African voters, to keep him in power so that he can continue fighting for the people of Palestine and ignoring the people of South Africa. This is what he wants. This is how devious it is. Guys, I've never seen the African National Congressman being so passionate about something before. I've never seen these people, man, being so passionate in terms of seeing the justice through. I've never seen these people being so passionate. But why isn't the same passion, man, shared with the people of this country? Why is the president not being passionate when it comes to the issues that are facing the country? I mean, like, you would think with someone governing South Africa, a country that has no borders, a country that has millions on millions of illegal immigrants, a country that has high unemployment rate, the country that is ravaged by crime, you would think that the president of the country would actually say, man, the South Africa is headed the wrong way. You would think the president of a liberation movement would look back and say, man, you know, the people who died for this organization, man, would not be happy to see where the organization is. Do you think, like, you would think that these people, man, would actually prioritize the people of this country? But what I'm hearing from the president of the country is that, guys, please keep voting for me while I fight for the people of Palestine. Keep voting for the ANC while the ANC fights for the people of Palestine. We don't care about the people of this country. We don't care about the people of this country, but we are asking you, as the people of this country, guys, please keep us in power while we are fighting for the people of Palestine.
And in the end, I know of no other organization that has the type of presence that the African National Congress has.
ANC President President Cyril Ramaphosa is on a political warpath on an international and domestic front. Domestically, he's fighting former President Jacob Zuma's newly formed MK party, which he labels as a rebel movement, whilst he also sees some parties clubbing up together to try and remove the ANC. He says there's no other party that can cover wall to wall from east to west, north to south, all corners of South Africa like the ANC in this upcoming grueling election campaign.
So guys, this is basically what I wanted to speak about, man. The fact that these people are saying that the South Africans must brace themselves for the consequences that are going to come for their actions. South Africans they must brace themselves for the consequences that are about to come because of the actions of President Ramaphosa and the ANC. And the same people, man, they keep asking you to vote for them to stay in power while they fight for the people of Palestine and while they ignore the people of South Africa and the problems that are facing South Africa. Man, I think it is very devious. I think it is very disgusting that our president is giving so much attention, energy, and time into the matters that are not going to help fix the problems that are being faced by the average South Africans. So guys, I don't know, man. Please tell me what you think on the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button. And the most important part is subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.